Good evening, everybody. This is your host, Folk, and welcome back to another episode of the Channel 256 News brought to you by Bitcoin Mining World. The day is September 18th. Pretty crazy day in the markets. We got Bitcoin trading above $117,000, peaking today at $117,888. Awesome to see. No doubt this is directly correlated to the FOMC meeting yesterday, but as you'll see here in a little bit, a few different super important markers were all able to break out of their resistance levels, which is just incredible to see all across. Really shows us that we still got quite a bit left in this market, and hopefully that trend continues tomorrow. However, over here on the Bitcoin net hash rate, taking a little bit of a jump today after we got a difficulty or increase here just today, and you can see the results. Everybody was trying to game the system a little bit so the difficulty didn't go up too much. However, it did over here. Looking at the price per petahash, went all the way from $54 down to $52.25. I know that might not sound like a lot, but when you're looking over here on the charts, it's almost at a monthly low, just above the monthly low of 51.32 in the last 3 months. If you really want to go back, we did have a few low days under the $50 mark, but we are starting to trend back towards the downside. So hopefully Bitcoin can start catching up in its price action, and as well as, more and more people are going to be plugging in, especially as these new gen units get released. I know just the other day we covered BitDeer's new seal miner that's coming out. More and more of these hydro units are going online, and you're looking at like half a petahash per miner, given these are $10,000-$20,000 miners. But it's something that we'll continue to watch over. It's kind of crazy to see. If you look back over the last 5 years, we're at an all-time low, and it is just going to continue getting lower. If Bitcoin is able to pump up to 150, 160, like some people are calling for, maybe we'll get some recovery out of there. But over time, more and more miners plugging in, I imagine this number to trend downwards. And that's why you're seeing so many of these big Bitcoin players merging some of their sites over with HPC compute for AI. It's just a better way to spread out your income and make sure that you're not relying on Bitcoin as your only source of revenue. But yeah, over here at the Bitcoin difficulty up to 142.34 T. Nuts to see. It really is. I don't know what more we can really say about it besides more and more people are plugging in. Over here on index funds, however, crazy day. Looking over here on the daily chart, up 124 points on the Dow, the NASDAQ up 200 points, almost 1%. And then the big boys today, the S&P 500 being able to close at a new all-time high, peaking today at 6,652. So huge numbers out of there, 0.5% up 31 points. And then the Russell making the biggest moves, which is what we have been wanting to see, as I'll highlight Blockchain Backer, a popular chart analyst's tweet here in just a moment. We were finally able to see the Russell break out into a new all-time high, which has not happened since 2021. If you look back at 2021, what happened? It was when the entire market exploded and Bitcoin got up to that $69,000 level. It truly is just awesome to see. This is what we need for the rest of the market to start behaving as it should. Over here, you can see for the first time ever, the Russell 2000 closed a price above the 2021 all-time high, while also setting new all-time highs and closing above the wick from back in November 2024. Huge news. And then at the same time, I don't know if any of you guys also pay attention to the Blockchain Backer, but he's been talking about Total 2, which is the top 125 coins by market cap, excluding Bitcoin, which do have the highest correlation with the Russell being more of a risk-on asset. The Russell follows the top 2,000 stocks, while the NASDAQ only does the top 100. So as you're going down in market cap, you're getting more and more risky. There is sometimes a better chance for a higher percentage, just because it doesn't take as much money to move prices. But cool to see. This is what we needed to get the markets pumping again. And obviously, everybody loved what the FOMC meeting was saying. I think there's already a chance for 88% chance for another rate cut at the next meeting. If we see that, that's it's just going to be nuts. Over here, we got from Be Evolved. Somebody us at Bitcoin Mining World have been working with to generate these Bitaxes, the Satoshi Shovel. Wanted to go ahead and give you guys a quick little preview for it. They're not ready just yet. However, they will be ready in the near future. Curious on what you guys think of the design. We personally are extremely happy with it. You can see we've got the dual fans going right here, and there's going to be a stand that goes with it as well. Once again, B, if you are watching, I do appreciate you taking the time to put in this work for us. It could not be more excited about this project. Over here from Cointelegraph, we got the US and the UK to collaborate on AI, quantum computing, and nuclear energy development. Basically, the United States and the United Kingdom have came to an understanding on Thursday to jointly develop artificial intelligence, nuclear energy, and telecommunications and quantum computing for a wide range of usage, including space travel, military defense, and targeted biomedical drugs and medical procedures. Kind of cool to see the US and the UK getting along after the trade deal, I believe 2 weeks ago now when it was announced. I'm not sure if we covered that on the channel or not, but cool to see two big players in the global space working together. Hopefully that increases just more and more opportunities for miners as well as the world becomes more and more Bitcoin friendly. Over here from the Bitcoin Magazine, we got BTC Inc. and Strategy agreed to a 5-year strategic partnership renewal, extending Bitcoin for corporations initiative. In significant development for corporations' Bitcoin adoption, BTC Inc. and Strategy Inc. have announced a 5-year renewal of their strategic partnership for the Bitcoins of Corporations (BFC) initiative. The partnership aims to accelerate global corporate Bitcoin adoption through 2030, with BFC currently representing 38 member companies that collectively hold 69% of all corporate Bitcoin holdings. So huge. I'm not too sure if that's what sent Strategy pumping today, or if it was just the news of the rest of the markets, like the Russell, the NAS, and the S&P being able to break into new all-time highs. Cool to see. I know a lot of you guys hold it. I'm personally in the view of like, why would I buy a Bitcoin stock? But I mean, today you'd be winning up 5% over here on Strategy, and Bitcoin staying at a stable coin price again. That's nuts. The past 2 days and the last 24 hours, it's like we're hitting that 0.0. But just since I refreshed the screen from getting all these pulled up 10, 20 minutes ago, up another $100 on Bitcoin, you love to see it. Over here from the block, we've got Coinbase now lets users lend USDC on chain. Current yields up to 10.8%. I know a lot of you guys do plan on taking profits this cycle. Maybe a pretty nice place to store some of your excess cash with Coinbase earning 10% yield. Don't know any savings accounts or bonds that are going to be able to produce numbers like that. If I am going to trust a stable coin, it's going to be USDC. Maybe RLUSD, just because of how compliant Ripple has been in the past. Not a fan of XRP personally, but they have been extremely compliant. Don't think there's going to be any issues over there, but the same can be said for Coinbase, and Coinbase has a much greater market share, and RLUSD is not offering anything close to 10.8% APY. Huge to see. The last story, thought we'd finish it off on kind of a fun one. NBA star Kevin Durant's forgotten Bitcoin becomes a slam dunk investment. Apparently, NBA star Kevin Durant purchased some Bitcoin back in 2016 when it was trading from anywhere from $360 to $1,000. With Bitcoin being at $116,000, he's looking at gains of over 11,000%, which is insane. 10,000%, that's 100x. So he's looking at 110x on his investment. And knowing KD, you can imagine that initial investment must have been somewhat substantial. I mean, hell, even if it was $1,000, he's looking at over $100,000. But as you can imagine, it was probably a bit more than $1,000. We'll go ahead and end things off here on a high note. Go ahead and hit refresh one more time. Boom, $117,408 on Bitcoin. Great way to end off our Thursday. Hopefully this trend continues throughout the week. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate you guys watching these. And for those of you who stayed to the end, that's huge. Maybe give us a comment, like, I don't know, 117, so we know you made it to the end. Thank you all so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe and hit that noti bell so you'll always be notified when we upload new content and go live. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.